Welcome to the Paperback Podcast, a podcast for ambitious fiction authors who are ready to go from storyteller to story seller. I'm Pagan, and I'm a copywriter and coach helping fiction authors tell and sell their story. As a best-selling author myself, I know how much work goes into creating a novel, and it deserves to be read. Believe me when I say this, your soulmate readers are out there, and together we're going to find them. Hey everyone, how is it going? So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be sharing a live stream recording that I did over in my Facebook group, which I do pretty regularly. And I'm going to actually be sharing these from now on in the actual podcast for you. So if you want to get first access to these live stream events and be able to ask questions and see it all happening, then you are more than welcome to join the group. It's called Happily Ever Author. It's completely free, and I'm going to link it in the show notes for you below. But otherwise, I will be releasing the live streams a couple of days after they have aired in the podcast for you to listen to, because I think they're quite valuable and I want to make sure that you get as much value as you can. So with that being said, let's get into it. Hello everyone. So I am doing a live stream today, which I am very excited for. But first things first, before I get started and start introducing what it is and all that, I'm just going to quickly bring up the comments and just set myself up here while I give people a chance to jump on. So give me a moment and I will be right with you. Okay, so we're all set up here. Basically, I know no one's on here yet, but if you jump on live or you're catching the replay, for those who are on live, I'm doing a giveaway as well. But if no one catches me live, I have an alternative plan for the replayers, so you may be lucky. But we'll see how we go. Hopefully we do get some people on live, because that would be way more valuable for the training I have in store. Oh, Jay's here. Yay, we're still on live. Because I have questions I want to ask you, which is going to help you with this training. So one more thing that I just remembered to do is get a name generator or a name picker thing for the giveaway, which is definitely what I want. And I just want that up so that it's easier at the end. Okay. Maybe not that one. That one looks a bit weird. Sorry. So for Joe, I am doing a giveaway. I'm doing a live stream today all about how to micro goal set, right? Without so that you can combat overwhelm. And I want you to give me an example, if you have one, of a time you felt overwhelmed, just while we're waiting for everyone else. So just give me an example if you have one. It can be recently, it doesn't have to do with writing, it could be with anything. Just give me an example in the comments while I check out this thing. Okay, that one looks a lot better. We're going to use that one when we get to it. Okay, so I've got my comments. I can see when you guys are posting. I'm going to get started, and if people join us along the way, that's totally fine. Okay, so I've got my notes as well, in case people wonder why I'm looking that way. But yeah, remember to stay to the end if you do jump on live, because that way you'll qualify for the giveaway. If you leave, then you won't be qualified. So, yeah. Okay. So yes, as I said, today we're doing, a live stream all about micro goal setting and how that can help you to combat overwhelm, which, if you have ever felt overwhelmed at any time of your life, you know how horrible it can feel. And you also know that it can be really deliberating in, getting anything done, whether that be to do with your writing, to do with your marketing, etc. I have a weird thing on my glasses that is just really distracting, and I bet you guys can see it too. So I'm just gonna, oh God. So yeah, if you guys have an example of a time when you felt overwhelmed, and it can do with writing or anything. Joe says editing.
So I have experienced overwhelm in quite a few situations, and editing is definitely one of them, especially if it's something that you hate doing, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like I have to do this thing and there's so much to do and I just don't want to. Or it could be that, you really want to do something, but you just don't know where to start. And you're like, where the heck do I even begin with this? There's so much to do. I feel frozen, right? So I've been overwhelmed in quite a few situations. I'm just trying to think of a few examples here. So I know that one time, because my book series, if you've read my book, Lanterns in the Sky, you know it's part of a very big series and it's very complicated. So when it comes to writing the book sometimes, it can feel very overwhelming to make sure I have every little detail correct, because if one thing goes wrong, it creates a whole thing of plot holes, right? Like a whole big plot hole catastrophe. So I'm very like, this has to be perfect, and it's very overwhelming. So what I do is I micro goal set with my writing, and that really helps me to feel like it's less of an overwhelm and keeping my thoughts together, right? So that's one example of how you can use micro goal setting. Another one is for anything general like marketing, if it's a book marketing campaign, you can use micro goal setting so that you feel like you have more control over it. You can use it for any kind of business task. I use it all the time in my business. I use it, for basically everything. I even use it just in my everyday life. Like if I want to go, food shopping, I'll make a checklist, and that's kind of micro goal setting too. So, there's a lot of examples of like how you can use it, and I'm going to go more in depth about that in a second. We have some more people who joined us live, so if you're joining me live, I want you to let me know in the comments below an example of when you have felt overwhelmed. And it can do with anything, but if you relate it to books, that's great. And if you keep on live until the end, I'm doing a giveaway for those who are live, so don't leave. Don't leave me. Okay, so basically, I want to share some examples now of times when I've actually used goal setting, micro goal setting, so that you can get an idea of how you can do it too. So the micro goal setting is when you have a really big goal, like something that you really want to achieve, and that can be, publishing a book or finishing your book or whatever that might be, and you split that up into smaller micro goals so that it's more actionable to complete that big goal. So that might sound like really simple, right? It might be like, was that it? But let me show you exactly how this works, right? So let's use the example of my book, right? Where I'm setting down the micro goals. So if I'm like, okay, I have a book that I need to finish by the end of the month, let's say, and I've got to write, 70,000 words. Then I'm like, how do I possibly finish this book in that short amount of time and not feel absolutely stuck, right? So what I do is I decide to myself, okay, I'm going to set myself a weekly writing goal. And that could be, I don't actually know off the top of my head what that would be divided by 4 weeks. But let's just say that for the sake of this example, I'm trying to aim for maybe, let's say 20,000 words a week, which is roughly the amount that I'd be aiming for. And that might sound like a lot, right? So again, it's still that's still a lot of words I have to count, I have to reach every single week, right? So then I might divide that again by every day. So now I have a daily writing goal. So I have a main goal, which is to finish my book. I have a weekly goal, which is to write a certain amount of words that week, and a daily goal, which is to write a certain amount of words that day. And suddenly it feels much more actionable for me to go ahead and write that amount of words. It's like, if I hit this word count today and I hit it every day for the week, then I'm on track to hit my overall main word count goal, right? So it's like suddenly I'm not stuck. It's like I'm never going to finish this. If I stay on track, I know that I'm going to be on track. And if I fall off track, it doesn't matter, because I'm like, okay, I only need to catch up on this many words because I've been staying on track for this long, right? So that can be an example of micro goal setting. I'm setting smaller goals for myself to make it more actionable for me to complete my goal. And you can do this for anything, right? So Joe says marketing is for sure overwhelming, and I will get to an example of that in a minute as well. And Jessie says, I just tried for 500 a week at one point. After I was writing for a while, it felt too easy to get that in a day. Exactly, right? Like you might think to yourself, 500 words, how am I going to get 500 words? But the thing is that if you are in flow in your writing, it's very easy to hit 500 words, because that is like the minimum amount of words that you could hit, and it's very easy. So yeah, like, and the better you get at it and the more consistent you are with your writing, you know, the more words you're going to hit every day and the better you're going to feel about writing. And that is why consistency is so important, and how micro goal setting can be really powerful for helping you to keep a writing routine or anything like that as well. So, I want to give you another example, right? So when I write my book, and this is just like a different kind of example of how you might aim to finish a book. So there's no time limit on this one, but maybe you don't know how to start it. You're like, I don't know how to start this book. It's very confusing. I just don't know. I have my idea, but I can't put it on the page. So you might think to yourself, I want to try an outlining method. And for me, chapter outlining works very well because it's similar to the micro goal setting method, but you can do it just however you like, right? So for me, if I come up with a book idea, what I generally do if I'm trying to put it down on the page is I come up with at least my beginning, middle, and end idea, right? Like the sort of gist of how I want that to play out. Once I have that, I'll go to my first chapter and I'll write down the goal of that chapter. I'll go, for this chapter, this needs to happen in order to get to the next chapter. And then I'll break that down even further. I'll do bullet points and I'll be like, okay, so what I want to do is basically I need to introduce the main character. She needs to come up with some kind of problem. She then needs to meet her guide, and then they go off and I don't know, like go to solve this problem that she's having, right? So that could be like the outline of my first chapter, right? So that is another example of how I tend to write my books and how you can use goal setting to help you write books, right? I'm just going to approve someone who wanted to catch this live stream so that she doesn't feel left out. And she'll join us in a second. So yeah, that's another example of how you can use the goal setting method, the micro goal setting method. So let me give you a different example now so that it's not all about books. Okay, so let's say that you are coming up with a marketing campaign for your books, right? You might say to yourself, I want to grow my audience by 500 people this week. And you're like, what do I need to do to grow my audience by this many people this week, right? You're like, how do I even begin to do that? So the first step you might even take is like actually find out, what is it going to take for me to reach 500 followers this week? And once you have that, you might break that down into further actionable steps. You might go, okay, every week I'm going to reach out to 10 people and, start a conversation with them and network. I'm going to post something on my Instagram and my Facebook and my Twitter. I'm going to then share that post around so people see it. Like you can put like the steps into a checklist and then set them as goals. Like if you're hitting your goals every day, then you're on track to hitting your overall goal, right? So that's another example of how you might do it. And it's basically like checklists. It's just like having checklist after checklist that just breaks down further and further until you feel like you can go ahead and do your big goal. So let me know if that is making sense for you in the comments. And if you're joining me live right now, make sure you stay on to the end because I'm doing a giveaway for those who are live. And don't worry if you missed the start because there's a replay available as well. Okay, so let me know if that's making sense. And I also want to share why this makes so much sense, like why this actually works for people. So number one is because it suddenly feels very manageable and easy to hit your goal when you break it down this way, right? Second of all, it's like you suddenly know the how. So before you might be like, I don't know how to do this. This feels super overwhelming. But then you're like, okay, now that I have an actual path in mind, I have all these steps I want to take in my checklist or whatever, then it's like I suddenly know the how of how I'm going to go ahead and publish my book or write my book in this amount of time. And it's like, it's so easy, right? It's so easy now. I know exactly where to begin. I know exactly what I need to do next. It's just going to happen. Like it's no longer, you don't feel frozen. So, Bruna just joined us live. Hello. You haven't missed too much, don't worry, but you can watch the replay anyway. So, the next thing I want to go over is how I use this in my coaching. So I use this all the time in my coaching with all of my clients, especially my one-on-one clients. The very first thing we do when we work together is we come up with a plan of what they really want to achieve when working with me. And if they are like, oh my gosh, I don't know, where to start, I'm so overwhelmed, I have all these ideas I want to do, I'm like, let's narrow it down to just 3 big ideas that you want to work on while you're working with me. and we will put this in a plan of action so that we can achieve this over, say, every month or 2 months together, right? Depending how big the goal is. So that's kind of how I do it. And you can do this too, right? You can do this in your personal life. But one thing I wanted to mention is that I also do it, like, because I do it with every client, I'm also going to be doing this in the Entrepreneur Kingdom moving forward. So the thing about the Entrepreneur Kingdom is that up until now, I've just been doing like monthly trainings, and that's been great. But the churning out of the content all the time is very hard for people to keep up with, and like, I want to make sure people feel supported. So recently we've changed the model of it, and now we're going to be doing the weekly coaching, which means that you can get support from me every week, right? So with the micro goal setting, the very first thing we do at the start of every month is set these micro goals, right? So that everyone has a plan of action moving forward with their goals. And that's what we're doing today. So in the Entrepreneur Kingdom group, today we are doing our accountability call, which is where we set the micro goals. And then after that, we'll do all the other stuff like the mindset work and all of that kind of stuff. So that's just why I just wanted to let you know that's how we do the coaching as well. I use it with absolutely everything. It's like completely changed my life. And I want to share, well, actually I want you to share what's one thing you'd like help with at the moment, like something that feels super overwhelming to you right now, but you feel like you might be able to turn it into a goal setting method and like remove that overwhelm. Let me know in the comments if you have something in mind. I'd love to hear from you. So, and Maria's just joined us. Hi, Maria. The other thing I want to share is that basically, I've done this with a lot of my past clients as well. Like, for example, Rebecca, who worked with me, she was very overwhelmed when she started working with me. And we did this micro goal setting method. And at the start of when she worked with me, she wanted to publish her book. She had no idea how to start. She hadn't even finished writing it. She was like, how am I going to finish writing it? We worked together, and within 6 months, she had finished her book. She'd gotten completely clear on how she was going to finish it. She'd gotten clear on how to publish it, and she published it. So she achieved that just within the time frame of working with me from setting these micro goals. That's how powerful it can be. If you are sitting there right now and you're like, you know, I want to just finish my book, or I would really love to publish my book, but I feel like it's going to take years and years, right? It might not. If you set these micro goals and you suddenly have complete clarity on how you are going to go about doing this, you could be as well, you know, finishing your book or publishing it within the next 6 months. And it's absolutely doable, right? So another thing is that with a day job, I actually work a part-time job at the moment too, and I haven't done that in quite a while, so that's been a challenge, and I definitely feel like needing to balance that. So let's talk about that for a bit, because Bruna's brought up having a day job is very overwhelming, which I totally get. So basically, that's kind of interesting as well, because at the moment I'm working on 2 different books, which are coming out within the next 6 months. So I've got one in December, one in March, and I've got another one after that too, which I haven't even started writing yet. So I've got a lot of things to do. I've got 2 manuscripts I've got to work on. I've got 2 that have been finished, but they need to be, you know, finalized for publication. And I'm also doing my business. I'm doing my part-time job. I'm doing quite a lot. So it's like, how do I juggle all this, right? It's because I actually have the micro goal setting method. So what I do is I make sure that I set aside writing time, and I make sure that I'm very consistent with it. I'm like, if this book is going to get done, so for example, the one I need to get done coming up, right? If I'm like, I need to get that done by, say, the deadline's in June. Well, actually, that's the release date, so the deadline's probably February if I'm actually going to get that finished in time. Let's say I need to get it finished by February. If I haven't started it, it's like, okay, let's say it's going to be about 90,000 words. No, sorry, this one's a novella. Actually, let's go for about 60,000 words, right? Let's say it's 60,000 words. And my glasses are fogging up again. But let's just say that I'm doing that. I need to start no later than November. I need to get it finished by January so I can revise it by the time I submit it in February. And then I would need to break that up into smaller goals, right? So I might need to hit about 20,000 words a month, right? And then if that feels overwhelming, which that's definitely doable, but if I'm like, okay, let's break that up even further, 5,000 words a week. Break that up even further, divide that by 7. So easy, right? It's like, okay, I need to just stay on goal with that. and then I just need to hit my word count goal every day. If I fall off track, I just need to catch up the next day. So easy, so doable, right? And then like you can do that with anything. If you have to finish a book in 25 days and you've got 50,000 words to rewrite or write or whatever, you know, you break that up by, what's the division of that? Like, I think it's about 2,000 a day. Yeah, so like you write 2,000 words a day, right? If you can't do that, because if that feels like way too much, that's okay. Let's just say every week you do, say, let's say you aim for 1,000 words a day. Let's say that's a little bit more doable. You can do 500 in the morning, 500 in the evening, if that's the way you got to do it. And then you do the rest on your day off, because you have a lot more time on your day off, so it feels a lot more doable. See, it's just about figuring out what's doable for you, break that up, and make the time. That's the other thing about this, is that you have to make the time. If you have a day job and you come home and you feel super drained, you know, you're really tired because you had to commute or something, and you just know that you're not going to get the work done when you get home, do it before you leave. Get up a little bit earlier, set aside at least 40 minutes, maybe an hour would be better, but if you've only got 40 minutes, sit down for 40 minutes and make the most of every single minute, right? And if you do that consistently, if you make yourself get up that early and you make yourself sit at your desk, you're not going to waste that time. You're going to be like, I got up and I'm sitting here and I could be in bed right now, so damn it, I'm going to write my book right now. So that is what you could do, right? Yes, it makes sense and it feels less overwhelming. That's amazing to hear. So definitely try these things out if you are struggling. So yeah, the other thing I want to mention is, or I want to sort of dive into now, so maybe there are some big things in your life that you'd like to achieve and, you know, you feel a little bit overwhelmed, but imagine if that wasn't the case anymore, you could finally achieve these things, right? So this is where I feel like having a coach is really valuable, because it's one thing to say like, yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to set my micro goals, I'm going to go and do them every day, but it's another thing if you don't actually do them, right? Like, I know that I've worked with some people before who set themselves a plan and then they come to the end of the month and it's like, I didn't do the plan. It's like, why didn't you do the plan? And then they might say, oh, something came up, or I forgot, or, you know, I felt like I couldn't, or whatever that is, right? And that's where you might need the accountability. You might need the extra support. You might need someone on your side saying, okay, what's holding you back from doing this? Like, what are you feeling? Do you have a fear around it? Do you have an obstacle that's coming up? Let's shift things around in your schedule. Come back to me tomorrow and have this done, or else I'm gonna have to, you know, yell at you or something. But that's where having a coach can be really valuable, because they will keep you accountable, right? And that is why the Authorpreneur Kingdom is very valuable too, because it's really affordable, it's entry level, and you get the coaching now. So you get the weekly coaching, you get that accountability, you get the goal setting, and you get the mindset work, you get the knowledge, you get the vault of training, so you get absolutely everything, right? So one thing that I want to mention is that, like I said, we're doing the goal setting thing today, right? And the doors are always open. You can join anytime, but you also get a free trial when you join. So you can try it for 7 days, see if it's for you. If it's not, there's no obligation to keep going. You can quit anytime. But if you join, it's only $10 a month, right? So if you want to join us today for our accountability goal setting call, and you join today, let's see, we're doing it, it's today my time, so it's like later, but it might be tomorrow morning if you're in the US. So in roughly 10 hours from now, that's when we're doing it. So you have until then to decide. But if you want to join us and try it out, do the accountability together, see if it works for you, then I'm going to drop a link in the comments towards the end so that you can sign up. But I definitely recommend, if you feel like you've been needing more support, you need someone to actually hold you accountable with your micro goal setting and make sure you get it done, or at least just to get into the flow of doing it so that you actually feel like you can do it in a routine, then I recommend signing up to see how it goes and join us for today's call. It's going to be awesome. So one more thing I want to mention before we go into the giveaway part, which is the exciting part, because there's something else here, but I don't know where my notes are. No, I feel like I had something here, but I've lost it. No, I've lost it. I guess it wasn't that interesting. it wasn't that important, sorry. So anyway, I'll drop that in a minute. Let's do the giveaway. So I have 3 people on with me. I'm just going to see who exactly those people are. Give me a moment. My computer just froze. No, we've got 4 people on. 4 people's on. Okay, hang on. It's not actually letting me see exactly who those people are. I'm just going to assume that we've got Joe, we've got Jessie, we've got Anna. But I don't know, because like people were going on and off. Oh, let me just see who they are. Okay, you know what? Let's make this easy. If you're on right now, comment an emoji and I will put you in the name picker. Yeah, definitely do that. So Bruna's here. Oh my gosh, my name picker went away. Come on. Don't you hate it when technology doesn't work, especially when you're about to do a giveaway? Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering what that is, you might be like, what are you giving away? I'm giving away a free 40-minute coaching call with me. 40 or 45 minutes. It'll be around that anyway. So this is of about $250 value because the one-on-one is more valuable than the group coaching, because the group coaching you don't get as much support and you don't get to talk to me face to face, but in the one-on-one that is very valuable because you can ask whatever questions you want, right? So this is completely free. It's going to go to one person who's on right now. So Joe's here, Jessie's here, Bruna's here. Is Wendy here? I feel like she just got here. Let me know in the comments if you're here, Wendy. I'll put you in. So we got Joe, we've got Bruna, we've got Jessie. Just making sure we haven't missed anyone. I feel like there's one more person here. If you're here, I'll give you like 30 seconds to let me know that you're here, so that I just make sure I'm, you know, like not putting someone in who's not actually here. Make it fair. Yeah, but we've got those people. Let me know in the comments if you win this. What would you like to talk about in the call with me? That's just really interesting. I just like to know what people will need help with. And it can be anything. It can be your book. It can be publishing. It can be marketing. It can be, you know, like getting your shit together, basically, like being able to organize stuff. It can be, you know, deciding what you want to do with your author career. It can be anything. Joe says, I was going on and off, my connection was bad. Oh, that's okay. I think it's actually me, because Australia's internet is terrible. So what used to happen, I used to have a different phone, and we used to go glitchy all the time, and I'm pretty sure it was my internet, not my phone. But since I got a new phone, that doesn't happen to me anymore, but I still get people telling me that the connection is bad, so I feel like it has to be my internet. So it's probably not you, in which case I apologize, and there's not a lot I can do about it, unfortunately. But if I move to the city, which we're planning on doing soon, it might improve because they have better internet in the city. Deciding if I want to go self-publishing or traditional. Nice. So I've done it both ways, and I can definitely tell you the pros and cons of both. I don't lean towards one or the other. I just, yeah, it's like a personal choice, so we can go into that together. Carmen just joined. Okay, so, you know, I'm just going to put who's already in there through this giveaway. So let's do this now. Okay, it's shuffling. No, sorry, it's not shuffling. Oh, it's spinning. Hang on. It's spinning now. Okay, it's spinning. And the winner is... It's Bruna. It's Bruna. So, Bruna, you just won a giveaway. You just won the coaching call with me. So, I will be in touch. Let me know how you want me to get in touch with you. If you want me to just message you, that's fine. And I will let you know the details of how to claim that. Congratulations. And then for the rest of you, what I'm just going to do is oh my gosh, I had it here and then I lost it. I'm going to just drop the Authorpreneur Kingdom sign up thing for you guys so that you can sign up if you want to join me for today's coaching call. And yeah, I feel like that's really valuable as well because, oh my gosh, where am I? It's all disappeared on me again. Yeah, I feel like it's really valuable because basically, I can't get the comments now. Okay. Because basically, like, you know, it just sucks. It sucks when you are working your full-time job and you really want to be at home writing instead. You've got the story idea bugging you, and it's like, you know, you wish you could be writing full-time. You wish that you could just be doing this for a living. And the thing is that you can. This community is more than just coaching. It's like you get all the tools you need to create that author career and make that your actual lifestyle, and you get it for a really affordable entry price, because I want authors to be able to access this information and the correct information without all confusion, without all the overwhelm, and without feeling like they can't access it because of their financial situation. So that is why I love this community so much, and I feel like the coaching is definitely going to enhance it a lot more. So I've just posted that link there. Bruna, I'm going to get in touch with you. I'm going to let you know the details for how to do that. If you guys have just joined us and you guys are like, what the heck is this video about? What's going on? The replay is going to be up once I jump off, so you guys can watch that. You guys can tune into all the juicy details, and hopefully it's really helpful. So if you guys are catching the replay as well, I want you to also answer the questions. Let me know what you're struggling with. Let me know if you have a clear plan now for micro goal setting, and tell me about anything else. I always come back and answer the questions. And I will be doing another live stream soon as well, so I'll let you guys know when that comes up. But that's all from me today. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
That's all I have for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review, or if you found this specific episode helpful, please share it with a friend who you think might enjoy it too. And don't forget that I'll be back 2 weeks from now with another episode of the Paperback Podcast.